I'm your friend Dr. Charles Apoki. This video is wow. You see, when you hear me say I've been married for 38 years, that I have never kissed another woman, and that I have never slept with another woman, you will think I'm a superstar. No, it is by His grace. It is by His grace, and we are complete in Him. I get tempted. I get seduced. Like as I said in my previous videos, that old gun can still shoot. That I'm 64 does not mean I am not tempted. Now, let me tell you a few stories, and I will give you one or two principles that have helped me. One of the days, two of my children were sick. One had a cleft lip and palate. Another one had bilateral genu valgus, and they were admitted at the National Orthopedic Hospital at Enugu. And my wife had been away for 3 months. One of the things you must learn in life is that there might be sexual deprivation. It does not give you a license for adultery. The Bible says that Jesus, because of the future glory that was set before him, he endured the cross. Just imagine all the fame, all the accolades, all the shares by very popular musicians, popular people in this country. I will have lost all that if God did not help me and if I did not help myself. I was running a hospital. I first ran a hospital with a school of nursing, and there was this beautiful young girl in the theater with me. And you know, when you get to the theater, you will pull your working clothes and then wear theater gowns. And sometimes some of those gowns and some of those dressings can become very revealing. And I was attracted to this young Igbo girl, a hairy young Igbo girl. And I was a young man. I think I started running that hospital at the age of 27, and I was just newly married, and my hormones were still pumping, my organs were still agitated. Here was I. This girl would have succumbed to me. But I had to think, I'm the medical director of this place. My wife is working here. If I go into this girl, what would be the consequences if she gets pregnant? I had to caution myself. The pressure was there. But one of the things I have learned is to think about the greater future and negate the immediate desire and immediate and short-term pleasure. The future desire. And then to think about the consequences. Think about the consequences. If that girl got pregnant, I wouldn't be here to be enjoying this glorious lifestyle I am enjoying. Then one of the things that has helped me with sexual aggression and the desire to commit adultery, I had challenges in marriage quite early, just like my parents. And I'm still having challenges. But I keep telling myself, this lady I am admiring, is she different from my wife? Why don't I settle down and manage these challenges I'm having with my wife than to bring another problem into my life? I hate stress. Sex is cheap, but it has very dangerous consequences, very expensive consequences. And so that has helped me. Another challenge I had, one time my wife traveled and I had not seen her for 3 months, as I said earlier on. My children were admitted in the National Orthopedic Hospital. And there was a young lady working for me as a nurse. I remember I opened my hospital when I was first practiced, when I was 29. So my hormones were still bubbling, and I was a very bad guy before I got born again. Very, very bad worry guy before I got born again. But when I got born again, I had good models. I had people like Don Odunze Sr., who was always doing the family circle on television. I had people like Dr. Ziki Kora and Justice Ikora. I had people like Ezewa Melako, Chuma Okorafor, Obiakarije West, Ima Okori, several Eastern brethren who had stable families that I looked up to. And then there was a way adultery was treated in the church then. It was very harshly treated, not tolerated. So we had good models. But this day I was traveling with this young girl to go and see my wife. And as I was driving, she sat in the front seat. Suddenly, the skirt shifted. Innocently, brethren, don't condemn the young girl. Innocently. When you sit, your skirt will shift now. And Dr. Apoki turned and looked. Hey, God. I looked. It is the second look that is dangerous. It is the second look that Satan starts to whisper. And I looked again. Satan is a good evangelist. He started preaching to me. Look again, man. And I looked again. Wow! He said, well, I can remember vividly. I can remember this spot. Why don't you branch the next town and go into a hotel and do one quick one? And then your wife will not know. Jesus Christ, Obara Jesus. I held the wheel of the steering wheel and I was going. I was praying in the spirit. I was thinking of what my wife would say. I was thinking of what will happen and the consequences. From Umuahia, I was living in Aba, but the skirt moved around Umuahia. I noticed the skirt move around Umuahia. To Enugu, it was war. It was war. The Bible says, resist the devil and he will flee from you. God help me. I resisted. Got to Enugu. When I saw my wife, we came back. As we were coming back, seeing my wife, the pressure and the temptation had reduced. The Bible says, do not deny each other the conjugal rights of marriage, excepting because you want to pray. Then come quickly together. So, deprivation can cause adultery, not minding what I said earlier on, but it is your responsibility to resist temptation. Satan does not lift up skirts. Satan does not remove pants. Satan does not remove braziers. Satan does not open zip. Satan does not zip your trouser down. It is you that will do it. So I resisted and I got home safely. And then about 20 years later, I was a guest speaker somewhere. And they were taking me out of the hotel, and big man of God, all the protocol were following me. Suddenly, a woman with about 3 children came to kneel down in front of me. Oh, Dr. Apoki. And he told the children, see who made me who I am today, because I trained her very well. I trained her. See who made me who I am today. Boy, as I entered that car and I sat down, I was thinking about my life. If to say, according to worry people, if to say, assuming I branched that town and slept with her and she got pregnant and maybe I abandoned her with the baby, that day, guest preacher, she will have told, see your daddy. Wow. I endured. I resisted the devil and the devil fled from me. So be very careful. Resist. We all get tempted. I'm not a strong man. So I avoid unnecessary association, unnecessary proximity, unnecessary friendship with females. I do not practice unnecessary association, female secretary, female, no. Stay, give me space. I don't want to die young. The next thing I do is that for every woman I see, I superimpose my wife on her. So she's beautiful, I appreciate. But I superimpose my wife on her. So it's my wife I see.